All right, guys, welcome back to Beautiful Mind. Thank you to all my subscribers and my viewers. Really appreciate, I'm really grateful. Thank you very much. If you're new here, I'm Roland Attenborough. I'm the leading GAN scientific and analytical researcher. And today we're going to be talking about a few things. And let's just jump right in and we'll take a look at that. Okay, so today, this is our itinerary. We're going to be talking about sections of market campaigns, and we're going to be referring to William Gann's book on how to make profits trading in commodities. And then the next one we'll look at will be all our counts, because they're really important. We have a really big one. I wanted to show you a couple that we've been talking about, and another one that is bringing us up to date. So it's our 155 and our 450. We're going to take a look at all those, plus our other counts. After, we're going to go and we're going to set up the ephemeris and put all the planets all the way around. And we're going to take a look at the planets coming up that are going to be making relationships. And we're going to take a look at that. And we're going to, more importantly, take a look at what occurred last year, February, March, or one cycle ago. And then we're going to round it up with our conclusion and our determinations. All right, let's just dive right in. This is sections of a market and the campaigns that take place inside of a bull market or a bear market. Today we're looking at the bull market, and we're going to make some determinations on Mr. Gann's book and relate it to our market. So let's go take a look at that. So we've already had in section 1, we've had an advance after a final bottom, then a secondary reaction. And now we've had an advance to higher levels above the highs of a previous week's and of the first advance, then a reaction. So that's our second section. And William goes on to state that the third section doesn't take place until an advance to new high for the move. And really that means that when Bitcoin breaks above 69,000, it will start to enter this third section. And we should watch it because that's where it usually makes a top. That's what he says here. And you must watch it for a definite indication before deciding that the third run up means a change in the main trend. And he goes on to state that sometimes, or often, 4 sections are run out on this fourth move or run up in the most important to watch for the end of a bull campaign and a change in trend. And we're going to go take a look at that. We're also going to go take a look at how to determine a change in the main trend. He's saying by space movements here. So when a decline in cents exceeds the greatest decline of a previous reaction by 1 or more cents or dollars or points, whatever you're in. So when this has happened, it's stating that there'll be a change in trend. So when the market has run out 3 or more sections in a bull campaign, go over the record and find out what was the greatest reaction and has been in any section, right? Whether 10, 20, 30 cents or more or whatever it is. So he's saying that suppose wheat has been advancing for a long time and a great reaction in the bull market has been 10 cents. Okay, so and the market has reached the third or fourth section of the campaign. The first time wheat or other commodities or cryptocurrencies for that matter breaks more than 10 points, $10 or whatever or more, then the greatest reaction, it is an indication that the main trend has changed or will change soon. This is straight out of his book on form reading. Okay, that's page 51. Okay, so we've looked at that. Let's go now take a look at what it is we were talking about. Let's just go over here. We'll make this smaller. So we're going to now just go take a look at the section of the market. And I think this is really important because we made our bottom. We had our first initial, we was talking about these 25,000 areas, so critical. So we went up, we made our first top. We had a big reaction, moved up and made top. So this right here completed our first building block. And we had a reaction right back to this old top. The second section of this market started right here. It really was accumulating strength right here, but the strength didn't happen until right here. It really got super powerful, and we broke above this top. So this is our second section now we've entered, and we're going to bang around in here now for a while. And the third section of this market will not take place until we get above our old high at 65 and 69,000, which occurred in April 2021 and November 2021. So, that being said, what are we expecting? Well, we're going to be in a second section, and we're having pretty good reactions. I don't think that we've violated any of our reactions. They're 62-day reaction cycles, so we've got to watch for our day count and the amount in percentage that it's come back. So let's go take a look at our amount of percentage level first, and let's make a determination as to, what that is. Our reactions are about 19%. Okay, so we can't have a reaction more than 19%. So let's just get this down on there. Okay, so right now we're running at like the 21%. So we've just barely broke that. We're still, I would say that's still even. It's still even to me. So we still haven't really broke it. It looked like we slightly did. We're starting to form now what's called a head and shoulders pattern. Typically, this is indicative of a market moving up, having and strong reactions occurring. So we're going to be talking about these next now because as long as a market keeps making higher tops and higher bottoms and doesn't break these previous bottoms, I mean, we just tipped our toe through it. I mean, it just really, I was warning you about this area. Go take a look at my forecast of my previous stuff. I was telling you to watch out right after this area here, this 13th, we were going to have a severe move down to the 17th and 19th, and it didn't finish respectively till the 23rd. So from there, we've had another reaction. I was warning you on the end of the month on the 29th, and I warned you back here. We could have a dead cat bounce and a retest, and we've certainly done all that. And we haven't made a higher high yet. A higher high would have to be higher than this high. So right now we're waiting for this reaction, and I'm expecting that by around the 13th, we would have a big turnaround, and we'll have a resumption back into our corrective mode until we get strength to move up and break through this ring here. And we have to also have our halving event. So let's go now take a look at some other stuff here. We were saying, so we've taken a look at our sections of our market campaign. We've determined that we can't start a third section until we break above this level. And if we did that, where would we end up? Well, these 130,000, 140,000 areas, they obviously represent areas where I think a blow off top could take place. And, the angles are all moving up. So it's possible and likely this August we have a major blow up, and it's likely we'll be here, but we could be up into this area. So that's our third section. Once we get above this, now if we were to sit down after the end of the year, we had a big rally and we got above these areas, maybe somewhere in here, and swinging back, of course, to these areas. I think that we could have in 2025, certainly this February, March, and April period, we could see a 200,000 Bitcoin. Sure. And not to forget that, we could round out the year here and, we could get up around this 160. Doesn't necessarily have to be in the 200 level. I mean, we could just sit right back down on 100 grand here. Anyways, that's our fourth section if that were to occur. Now we're going to go take a look at our counts because we have some very interesting counts to talk about here. So let's go do that right now. We have our 62-day counts. There are always these whipsaw bottoms. They're, like I said, there are 62-day counts here, guys. And we've seen this repeat. Okay, so we've seen this over and over and over and over and over, right? Here we go, 60 days, right? So what about from our last one? Where's our 62, right? Where is it, guys? Take a look, right? It's right in here. So we know that there's a pattern in here. So we've been watching this, right? And the middle part of our measuring tool finds our bottom. Okay. So what's our other 62-day counts here? Well, we've had a few. Let's go take a look at this one because this one indicated a bottom right here, right? We've had this 62 days is right here where we've got this. Yeah, we just had this little dead cat bounce right up to there. You see that? Sorry, I'm waving that around. So right in here. So we have a bunch more 62-day counts, and they can all come from these too. So our next most important one is this one. Let's go take a look at the 11th, and let's go out 62 days, and let's just see what are we looking for here. Well, it's saying right now the 13th of March is where we can expect, another 62-day change in trend, maybe a lower top, maybe a higher high before a rejection, maybe a low, back to our vibrating trend line here. It's all very possible right in here. Okay, so those are our 62s. We have our 90 and our 180s. Okay, so let's go take a look at our 90 and 180. Okay, so From these areas here, we can see that we've had, well, here's our 90 days. Here's our, right, 180. Okay. Also note our the middle of our measuring bar catches, right, catches our March 11th bottoms. Okay, so let's just go out again. So 180. Okay, let's just go out a full cycle, right? Let's get first 270, right? Here's our 270, another bottom. Boom. Notice our middle bar catches our tops back here, right here. Okay, let's move to the 270. Let's move to the 360. Let's see what we can see on that bar. Well, there's our December 6th top. Wow, that looks pretty cool. There's a cycle right there. Okay, so we've looked at that. Let's go take a look now from our very beginning. Now, we have this reoccurring count here of 155 days from our bottom at 15,000. All right, so price and time had come together. A price low of 15,000 made it to 155 days. Okay, that's a reoccurring cycle here. Let's go over here and let's go take a look now at our next 155 days. And we should be right there. My Bloody Valentine. Is Bitcoin going to be a Bloody Valentine on that day? Is there going to be a major change in trend, just like this middle bar states here? Are we going to have a big move up, or are we going to make top and roll over? So we're going to watch this really carefully. These are our counts. Okay, let's now go take a look at how many days have we been? We've been 455 days, guys. Okay? And I think by price and time right now is squaring itself. Right? The price is 45,000 right now. See, it's 45,000 over here, and we're out 455 days, and we're looking like we're at a. That's right, head and shoulder top. Is it possible that we're about to have a shakeout again? Right? We could move right up into this ring and get rejected. Okay. So now that we've looked at their 450 day, that it's equal to 45K, we can see that there is possibly a change in trend happening here right around the 13th of February, my Bloody Valentine. All right. So next we're going to go take a look at the ephemeris, and we're going to set that up, and we're going to take a look at my ephemeris in my booklet, and we're going to look at what can come up with some conjunctions and some things that we need to be well, maybe looking out for. So let's go set up our square, and let's go make that nice and big. We'll just pull this over to the side a little. Maybe we'll make that just a little smaller there. Okay, so I'm going to bring the rest of this square into 100% view. So it's just going to be noisy for a second while I readjust this. All right, so okay, guys, let's go now set up our ephemeris. This is our handy dandy ephemeris. All right, here we go. Right? What's the date today? That's the date. Right? C8th. So 18 degrees right there. Moon. The moon is just making its way into February here. It's conjunct something else. Cthulhu. Let's keep moving on. We're in 4 degrees here. We've just passed over. Here we are. 4. 19. Ooh, I got some circled stuff here. I've been talking to you guys about this. Hit me up in the comments. What is this all about? Right? Miles Wilson Walker talks about this stuff too. Anyone who knows anything about GAN planetary things, hit me up. That one's the 19th of January. It's right there. 19. Mars. Ooh, let's see what Mars is up to right now. It's 25 in January. It's right here. It's right here. We got this stellium of stuff going on here. There's a lot of stuff happening, right? All this stuff. Okay, moving forward. We got Jupiter. Jupiter is at 8 degrees. Right there. Saturn is next, and it is at 7 degrees. Pisces, right here. We're going to be talking about this one too. This one, that's the next big one that's going to be after we get over Pluto here, which we're going to talk about. Okay, from there we are going to Uranus, planet of major transformation. Okay, 19, or it usually signifies lots of change and stuff like that as well. It's one of those types of planets. Okay, so Neptune, we're at 25, almost 26 in March. There we are right here. And next we have Pluto. Pluto is at our 0 degree here. It is conjunct the moon. And we have Mars coming in really soon here, going to be conjunct with it. And of course, this planet. So lots of crazy stuff is going to happen. Okay, let's go set up our node. It starts all the cycles. Nodes are what Mr. Gann talked about and referred to in all his financial tables. And you'll always see that when the nodes make it into the last degree of Aquarius is when his financial tables are all derived from, when the nodes move into those areas. So it's a really interesting. You should go take a look at that. So 19 April. There we are. And the other one will be 19 Libra, right here. Really interesting. Okay. We set the ephemeris up. Well, I guess maybe I'll leave that there for now. So I'm telling you right now, we've got these preliminary tops, and then we're going to have some wild swings and some bottoms. So where I've circled these things, these planets are now making it into the position where a previous planet was when we had some significant tops and bottoms. So when they cross these areas on the zodiac right here, when the sun was here, we had some things happen, and back here. So Venus is on a place where the sun was. Mercury is just passed over that spot and is now Pluto was conjunct Pluto. So I just giving you all these little tidbits of how we can look into the future and find some areas. And I'm always looking for a relationship of these bodies coming together and making specific angles and whatnot. So we're going to talk about this a little more too. So end of the month, what do we have going on? So again, our February March period is really important, and we're going to take a look at as well what happened last year because we had some things happen, and we're going to go talk about those. But right now, we have these planets will be making a conjunction. The sun will be coming up and conjuncting Saturn. You know, it's going to be making a relationship with Jupiter up here. So these planets are all they're making relationships, and notably also when uh, when Saturn was at 0 degrees March, which is what the sun's going to be going into, we had a really big low and a bottom. Is that going to occur when we ingress into this sign, when we were vibrating back here? I think we should look at that. So, could be a low coming in here. And then when these planets finally make it into the 0 degrees of those areas, now we're looking at March, guys. This is, the sun and Mercury are going to be conjunct Saturn. There's going to be lots of restriction there. I think we're going to have some major rules and restrictions come out. There'll be news of that majorly. Then again, we're going to have more news. It'll be a disillusioning news because Neptune is there. We're also going to see the sun is going to make another conjunction with Neptune. And of course, last year, you know, we had uh, we had some pretty big pullbacks. If you remember, you may not remember, and that's the whole idea of forecasting here is we pay attention to these things. So let's just quickly go take a look at that because if you're late to the party, you might get a big surprise. So last year here, right? So that's what happened. We had this big top and this super big pullback here. Okay. Is that what we're about to do now? And then launch up to new highs? I think it's very likely. You know, it's super likely. Like, here we are, guys. We're it's moved up. We're making this. Are we going to have a little pullback and get ugly and then a jump up and then a major move back, you know, into this March? Is that what's going to happen here? Are we saying that we're going to come back and get affected by this? Right? And then here, we finish it off right here. Maybe this is where we get our kick up and things get crazy, right? And these two have like come together and made a conjunction, Venus, right? And look, we can get another low when this one ingresses into this sign. Yeah. And when Mars ingresses into the sign, that's going to be the big low area. That's it. It's over. And this is going to pump. That's my feeling. Now, this week here of March, I will be in Mexico. I'll be holding my seminar on the 6th or the 7th here. I'm going to be releasing those details, but I'll be down in Mexico in the Cancun area or Puerto Vallarta, but I'll give you the details coming up. But I'll be there all week. So when we hold that course, um, we could meet the days after and go over everything. Anyone who has bought an online course or any of my courses is welcome to show up. Your attendance will be free, other than you just have to pay for your food and your drinks. You guys it's a brush up for you. You've already had my course, so this would just be re cementing the work that you've done on your own, and anything that you've been struggling with, we will crush right there. So, yeah, any researchers that have had my courses, they can show up for a very little cost of just the food and the drinks, or whatever it's going to take to keep you all day. It's be 8 hours. So that's going to be coming up. Anyone that is wishing to know about this stuff, hit me up. I'll put it in the link below. So this is March. That's what we were talking about. And in doing so, those are our conclusions and our determinations. I still feel that Bitcoin can still come back and retest these lower levels. It's going to get just loud for a second while I bring this down and we look at the numbers a little more clearly. Okay, so try and get that a little straighter. Didn't seem to work, did it? There we go. So what are we talking about here? So I want you to note that this is where we're vibrating right now. We're vibrating in this whole section right now. And the opposite side to this vibration, where we pulled back to this 38.5 here from our 49. All right. So let's just line that up. Right. 49 is our highest price right now. Right now we're vibrating in this 43 to 45 area right here. So what is opposite all this? Well, opposite we have 34, 37, and 31. Those are on our 8 octaves here. So it is possible and likely we retest this area and don't really get below this. However, we could just have a major pullback to 34 and 31. It's very possible. However, right now, 37 looks like an area where it's 180 degrees from our top at 49. Right now, we're vibrating back up to this 45. If we suffer a reaction here at this 46, that could indicate a double top or a head and shoulders formation, which is what we are possibly looking at right now. Let's go take a look at that. Here's our first shoulder. There's our head. We have a very prominent head. And right now we have our strong reaction back up to our shoulder level. And if we don't get above this, it's Humpty Dumpty for sure. And we'll be retesting these areas like this 37 for sure, and possibly this 34. That would probably be the lowest we could go. Is 34 here. We're vibrating at 46. We could certainly make a move back to that, no problem. That wouldn't be any big deal for Bitcoin, and it would still be in a bull market. By the way, holding this 34 right here and 31 for that matter. If we were to hold this, that would be a terrific buy, and I think that's in the cards. Just looking at the long view, that's my feelings. Anyways, guys, I try to make these as short as possible, but sometimes it just isn't possible to keep them short. And my apologies. Peace and love to you guys out there. Watch your stops. Just be really careful. We're in for a lot of volatility here. Peace and love.